Hi, this is Molly Quinn, and this is for my informative speech. And here is my audience, my two kids. All right, get set up here. Okay, so I want you to close your eyes for 2 seconds. Close your eyes. All right, imagine you see a child tracing a letter in the sand while saying it out loud. Okay, you can open your eyes again. Okay, so it sounds simple enough, almost playful. But underneath, something remarkable is happening. Multiple regions of the brain are firing all at once, building the neural pathways that make reading possible in the form of multisensory learning. As a special education major, future teacher, and someone who required support and intervention in reading in elementary and middle school, I myself know how learning to read can be very difficult and very frustrating. So today, my goal is to show you how engaging multiple pathways in the brain can make the difficult process of learning to read more accessible for students in the form of multisensory learning. First, I need to explain what multisensory learning is and how it looks in the classroom. So it's a science-based way of instruction that engages 3 different senses: the visual, the auditory, the kinesis, and tactile, which mean movement and physical touch. So instead of only seeing a letter or hearing a sound, students see it, say it, and physically interact with it all at once. When we engage multiple senses at the same time, even if it's just one or two, or even if it's just 2 at a time, the brain creates stronger, more connects the information, and we're able to recall it more accuracy. So some common examples that you would see in the classroom are writing sight words in shaving cream. It may be messy, but it's very fun. So jumping to different syllables while breaking apart the words, listening to audiobooks while following along with the text, building spelling words with magnetic letters, using Play-Doh to form letters and words, air writing letters or words in the air using large motor movements while also making the sound, or tapping phonemes with your fingers, so k-at. Arm bending while students slide their hand down their arm while blending the sound. So this is movement and sound, so say the word that, the, at, that. Or even acting out their vocabulary words. This list could go on and on. There are so many ways to involve multisensory communication and learning in the classroom. The more senses that are involved, the more the brain pathways are activated, leading to stronger learning outcomes. So how does multisensory learning support those struggle readers? Reading is not a natural human skill. It depends heavily on the brain's ability to connect the sounds and the symbols. The brain must build those new connections in order to read. This is why multisensory instruction is so important, because it strengthens the connections by activating multiple regions of the brain all at once. So here's what's happening. You have your visual processing, which helps students recognize letters, words, and patterns. You have the auditory, which connects sounds to symbols. And then there's the kinetics and the tactile input. This reinforces the memory through movement and touch. These are so beneficial for those with dyslexia or ADD because the brain works better when learning includes movement. So when these pathways fire together, the brain is stronger and they make more stronger connections. Students who struggle with reading often have weaknesses in one or more of these processing areas. So multisensory gives students multiple ways to access the same information. So if one pathway is weak, the other one can support it, thus reducing the cognitive load and increasing the accuracy. So for example, a student who struggles with auditory processing and being able to hold everything they hear in their head, they can rely on their seeing, saying, and touch movements. A student that's weak with visual processing often have a hard time remembering letter shapes, tracing sentences, or recognizing pattern words. So the multisensory they can rely on hearing the sound to remember the letter, and then also feeling the letter shape. And working memory is like a mental sticky note. And for those students who struggle with this, they're able to offload some of that burden by giving the brain multiple anchors for the same information. Multisensory instruction supports students who need explicit reinforcement pathways for learning. So what does research show about multisensory learning? Multisensory learning is not just helpful, it is consistently effective. Did you know about 40% of fourth graders in the United States score below the basic reading level, meaning they struggle with those foundational reading skills? So the same research also suggests that 85 to 90% of those students can make meaningful progress when provided with multisensory instruction, even those that are at risk of those with dyslexia. My son was kind of laughing, it was funny. So a structured communication that uses multisensory techniques produces more than double the impact of just basic literacy programs. Multisensory instruction is not just a teaching trend or just play. It's a scientifically grounded approach with strong evidence behind it. Multisensory instruction is far more than just hands-on fun. It's scientifically supported approach that activates multiple parts of the brain, strengthening those neurological connections, and improves reading outcome for all learners, especially those who struggle. Across more than 6,000 students and dozens of studies, multisensory methods consistently show positive effects on the reading development. So combining sight, sound, movement, and touch, multisensory learning helps children build the foundation and the skills they need to become confident and capable readers. Thank you.